I have heard this morning a lot of conversations around the future of AI and what's happening now, and I would actually just like to place us in the past for a second. So many of you will know that the roots of AI are actually rooted in peace. They're rooted in the 1940s when Alan Turing cracked the Enigma code and brought the end of World War II. At that time, he said, we can only see a short distance ahead, but we see plenty that needs to be done. And this remains true today in terms of harnessing the roots of AI, which are fundamentally about promoting peace and promoting achieving what is now the Sustainable Development Goals. I'd also like to contextualize a little bit the challenges that exist with regards to the history of technical innovation and resistance. So, through history, we have been able to harness technology for good, but there has been resistance. For example, the printing press. When the printing press was invented, many monks who thought they would be out of a job destroyed the printing presses that were available. But actually, what it did was develop a huge new industry, which is publishing, and in parallel, really emphasized and created the opportunities for more people to have access to information and access to creativity. This is exactly what AWS is doing with AI, but we see several blockers to AI adoption that remain true today. The first is regulatory uncertainty, and our Chief Regulatory Officer, Bob Kimball, evoked this yesterday. More than 31% of companies in the EU recognize that regulatory uncertainty is one of the biggest blockers for them investing in AI. Secondly is the question of digital skills. When you talk to businesses, more than 61% of businesses in the EU see lack of digital skills as actually inhibiting them from adopting AI. However, in parallel, my 94-year-old father is using generative AI to access his Social Security benefits online, and my 18-year-old daughter wants to be a prompt engineer. So this really emphasizes the need to be investing in digital skills. Thirdly, there's a huge gap between bigger companies that are adopting AI and smaller companies that are adopting AI at a much slower pace. This is something that absolutely needs to be addressed because we know in Italy and beyond that the startup ecosystem is the beating heart of economic opportunities in Italy and in the EU and more globally. What do we need to do to address these challenges? First, we need to democratize access to AI, and this is what we've taken as an approach at AWS, is taking access to AI services out of the hands of big tech corporations and putting them in the hands of developers everywhere. Secondly, we need to make sure that we're investing in digital skills. And this is one of the reasons why we launched what we call our AI Ready commitment, which is really about making sure that individuals everywhere have access to free classes that teach what AI is and what AI isn't, but also what it means to develop and deploy these technologies responsibly. And then lastly, the cloud is an incredible advantage, particularly for companies that may not have the digital skills, making access to this incredibly easy. I want to close by just saying many of you today have talked about the Mattei plan. And one of the things that's absolutely essential, alongside democratizing access to AI, is recognizing that the future is here, but it's just not evenly distributed. And that's one of the reasons why at AWS we're very excited to be partnering with Italy and the G7 on the G7 Hub for Sustainable Development, but also looking forward to supporting cooperation between Italian startups and startups in sub-Saharan Africa that are committed to making sure that cooperation amongst countries and amongst stakeholder groups are key to unlocking this potential future that we've all talked about today that is tech-enabled, but that's also human-centered. Thank you very much.